Hey,
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Green Room YXE. I'm Leslie,
I'm Johnny.
and this is our episode number
12, right?
12. Yeah, that's
Woo!
right. We're coming to you from Saskatoon.
1 dozen.
Yeah, we're live now, but we also want to say hi to everybody coming on to see the recorded show. So you can see all the recorded shows of past episodes and all the guests we've had on the No YXE YouTube channel. So go check that out. So I hope everybody had a great week. We had I don't know if we it snowed here in Saskatoon. It was really cold and
Well, minus 4 or 5,
it was
wasn't
freezing. It was freezing compared to what it was
Yeah.
before. And the week before, we were talking about, thinking about getting everything out in the backyard and getting out patio furniture. And I'm glad we were just thinking about it because then we had a blizzard. A blizzard hit, basically. Was it a blizzard? Am I being
That's
dramatic?
a little dramatic.
It was snowy and cold. And, anyways, whatever. It was only for a couple of days. True.
Better now. We're all better.
We're all better now. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, we've been busy doing our promotion for our live streaming event for our band Tucker Lane that's coming up on April 24th. So that's a lot of fun. Hope you
Oh, yeah,
guys
there it
can.
is. Look at that. It's
Oh,
good.
look at that. Yeah, hope you guys can check that out. We're really excited about it. And
Yeah, because, we are donating to Unison
yeah,
from
Unison Benevolent
Unison
Fund.
Benevolent Fund, which helps musicians in their time of need, especially during this time. It's, really valuable with counseling and what else? Emergency relief.
Relief. Yeah.
Emergency relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're excited about it. And
Great organization if you look into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Check that out. Um, oh yeah, and we were going to talk about we'll talk about it later until it's official, but we're doing the promotion. We've got a great our band is just such a great team and everybody, Brent and Warren and you and I are
And
all
that other guy.
what other guy what okay, yeah, well there's something
Yeah.
that yeah, we'll talk about coming up in the coming weeks of some an addition to our team. Um, and no, we're not having a baby. that's, no, not. That's long
Oh,
gone. Okay, so music news out there. Gene Champagne, drummer for the Killjoys, and now for Teenage Head. I think we mentioned last week that he is off of the ventilator. He was on a ventilator and put out to be on the ventilator from COVID, and yeah, horrible news when we heard that. And now we saw Gene's face on Facebook, a picture of him, and it was just so great to see him. And so he's getting better and stronger, and that's awesome. So we send our love out to his family
cheers
and
to
to
that.
Gene. Yeah. Um, what else? So what else is happening? News. I don't know if this is really newsworthy. I thought, is this newsworthy? But Spotify has voice control or voice command now, so you can say, "Hey Spotify," and tell it what to do, and it'll do it for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I even said that to to Julian, our son, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I was like, "Oh, well,
You're so
I
hip.
knew I knew something that he
Ahead of the
didn't know.
curve.
He's
Yeah. Wow.
14, and I thought he would be like, "Oh, that's old news, mom."
What's
But
that going to be like, though? What, really?
is that gonna be a big
Like,
thing?
how far away do you got to be from your phone to use it?
I don't know, but maybe you can use it while you're driving.
Maybe in the house. Maybe is it probably ties in with Google or Alexa and all that stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But that's on there now. And I saw most what's the platform that people listen to the most for music? What would you think it would be?
When you asked me this, I said Spotify.
Yeah, is it Spotify? Is it Amazon? Is it Apple? What is
No,
it?
I was wrong, right?
You were wrong. I know.
It's YouTube.
It's YouTube.
But YouTube just
Crazy.
bought somebody, right? They bought Google
Mm,
Play Music,
right.
right?
Yeah,
Right. So
that's
that
right.
probably.
That probably helped out a bit.
Probably helped out,
Built
but
in
still, I
little.
mean, even Julian, we're like out, driving around like we do, listening to tunes and stuff, and he says, "Dad, I got to go on YouTube to play this because it's not on Spotify." So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of stuff like that that's only on YouTube,
That's true.
like our campfire sessions,
That's true.
right? So
Does it sound different on YouTube? On
no,
SoundCloud, remember, it sounds different. It's a bit more shrill sounding because whenever he would go to SoundCloud and play something, it was like, oh my gosh, got to turn this down.
yeah, maybe
So I don't know. Anyway,
no comment.
okay. Other things in the news, DMX passed away on April 9th. He was 50 years old. It was drugs, I think. He really tried to, I think that he tried to get off of the drugs and then went back on them again. So, yeah, that's sad
Yeah, he
news.
apparently had problems in the past and was clean, and then
Yeah.
fell back into it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and again we were talking. Julian and I were driving around. I said, "Oh, it's too bad. Drugs claimed another. It's too bad.
Yeah, musician, artist. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. No
Anyone
kidding.
really."
Yeah. Um, and on this day, we're going back now. On this day in history, in music history, in 1965, the Beatles recorded "Help," and which was a song written by John Lennon as a cry for help. I didn't know that. And speaking of cries for help, um, I used to listen to that song and be like, hey, this is a great song, and tap my foot. I had no idea the deeper meaning behind it, but apparently he wrote it as an
Yeah,
actual
apparently
cry for help.
McCartney just came out and told that story. I think that's where I first saw it. It's
Mm.
kind of a new story, I think. So
Yeah, it changes
yeah.
the song a little bit, right? When you know what's behind the writing of it.
Not for me.
Really? The Rolling Stones on this day in 1971 released Brown Sugar from Sticky Fingers. And that was when they also introduced the tongue, the logo. Thought that was kind of cool. 1971, a long time ago. Bob Marley and the Wailers in 1973 on this day released Catch a Fire, their first album, and it's now regarded as one of the greatest reggae albums of all time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think my favorite is Natty Dread. It's my favorite Marley
Oh,
album.
okay, cool.
Anyways.
Yeah. David Bowie in 1973 released his sixth album, Aladdin Sane. And I love all of David Bowie's albums, but we do Jean Genie, which is from that album. We play that song live. It's a fun song to play live.
Yeah, and if you listen close, there's all kinds of bass mistakes.
There's
On the record.
Oh, really?
You can hear it.
Okay.
You can hear
I
it,
thought
right?
you were saying you made
Well,
bass mistakes.
I try to make them the same.
Oh,
No,
right,
kidding.
of course. Yeah.
But
yeah.
there are actually some bass flubs in there, and you go, "Wow,
Okay,
until you
I
hear it."
didn't
It's
know
like
that.
it's like when you hear an edit on a Beatles track, and you go, "Nah, I cannot never not hear that every time I listen
Yeah,
to the song." It's
exactly.
always, "Oh, there's that edit." Right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like once you hear it, you're like, "Oh,
yeah. There it
there
is.
it is."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like that kind of stuff. It makes it more real. But in 1974, Paul McCartney's Band on the Run album went to #1 on the U.S. album charts.
Man, I used to love that album.
Yeah, I know.
was 12 when that came out,
Yeah,
and I listened to that like nonstop.
yeah, it's a great album.
Over
When
and
I
over and
first
over.
heard Jet, I was like, oh my
Oh.
gosh, this song's amazing.
Band on the Run was the one that got me, and then
Really?
Helen Wheels.
Is that off the same album?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that album is killer then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is killer.
The single "We Are the World" went to #1 in the U.S. today in 1985.
And
Yeah,
you told me that I started singing it.
you started singing the British one.
The British
Oh
one.
no, you said Midgeur. Did Midgeur
Did
write?
Midgeur write that? Right.
I was like, no, Midgeur wrote with Bob Geldof.
Because I was singing. I can't even remember now. It was like a couple hours ago.
Don't you? It's don't you know? Don't they know it's Christmas?
Yeah. But this isn't Christmas. And
That's
so
right. It's different.
It makes sense that it's the one that Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson wrote.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was after time when everyone was like, "Yes, go Metallica,
go get them," and now
go
it's like, whatever.
I know, exactly. Put my song out, whatever. I'll never make any money off of it. Who cares? But yeah, that was pretty huge when they did that.
Yeah.
That took them a long time, you said, when we were talking about it. Or I think you said that suit took a long time. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, they were loved and then hated for it. It was weird. It was like when they started out, it's like, you go get them.
Right. And then I was like, okay, give up
You're
already.
screwing with us. And then it was like, forget about it.
Exactly. Oh, my humans. Oh, we're so silly. And then today, on this day, back in 1932, Loretta Lynn was born. So it's Loretta Lynn's birthday today. And speaking of country
She's older
music,
than my mama.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of country music, the SCMA Awards are coming up this weekend on Saturday, April 17th. And there's going to be a lot of great performances on there, and we're one of them. And we wish all the nominees the best of luck. And speaking of the SCMA Awards, we're going to bring out our next guest, who we're really excited to have. She's a top up-and-coming singer-songwriter on the Western Canadian scene. She released her debut EP in November of 2019. It's called Good On Me, which features 4 songs, including Good On Me, the title track, which made the top 100 on BDS and continues to garner airplay, as well as her own song called The Kind of Love. And this is truly a great achievement for a newcomer to the music business. It's amazing. Last year, she won an SCMA for Emerging Artist, and she sure emerged. And this year, she's nominated for 3 SCMA awards in the upcoming award show this Saturday. So please welcome to the Green Room YXE, Jordyn Pollard.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Jordyn. Hey, thanks for coming on the show. It's so great to see you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on the show, and you guys did a great introduction for me. Made me sound so much more important than I actually am. It means a lot.
Jordyn, you are important.
Oh, okay.
I would like her to do an introduction for me like that, just so she remembers.
You're silly.
I know, right?
So, we've been doing our research on you all week and listening to your music. It's awesome. And so you grew up on a farm near Lloydminster, Saskatchewan. Can you just let's go back and tell us a little bit about that life? Like what was the farm? What did you guys do there? Did you have to go out and like milk the cows or something, or take care of chickens? Did you have to do any of that stuff?
I didn't. I've never really been a farm girl, which it's kind of a disappointment for my dad, I think. But I'm a singer instead, so I mean that's a positive. But I've always loved living on the farm. I think that it's so awesome just to be able to be outdoors all the time, and it's something that my family really strives on and lives for. My brother and sister are way more into farming than I am, but I've always loved being out here, being in solitude. I feel like it's way more peaceful living out here than in the city. So weird to me just going into town and hanging out with my friends in the city and hearing cars honk all the time. Like I'm just not used to that.
Yeah. Well, were you really outside, or were you on you're of the generation that had the iPads and the iPhones and everything? So were you really able to kind of experience that, or
I wasn't really, when I was younger, my mom and dad say that I never really played with toys or anything. I was always singing and performing. Like I can even remember when I was younger, I would put on Taylor Swift songs, and if she had an award show performance, I would reenact it. Or I'd always sing Hannah Montana songs and just reenact her performances. And that's honestly all I remember doing as a kid, was singing and dancing. I'd put on shows in the kitchen all the time, and we have a stairway, and I'd stand at the top and pretend like the entranceway of our house that was on the bottom of the stairs was the next stage. You know how people have all those different platforms. I was really extra about it, and that's what I did in a lot of my spare time.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's so much fun.
Yeah. So you say you love the Lizzie McGuire movie and Hilary Duff. Is that?
I grew up watching, I remember watching those shows like 24/7. And another thing that I'd reenact was the Lizzie McGuire, like the finale performance at the end of the show. I've always loved Hilary Duff, and that was the first concert that I went to, was a Hilary Duff concert when I was 3, because I loved her so much. And I
Wow.
fell asleep at the concert.
Oh, that's funny, hey? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's great. Yeah,
Wow.
that
was your Hilary Duff was your first concert?
Hilary Duff was my first concert, yeah.
Wow.
And then I've been to so many since then. I think my favorite environment ever is going to a concert. And if I'm not on stage, I love watching people do what they do and love doing what they do. I think it's just the most amazing feeling to get to watch other people experience that, because you know how that feels. And I just, it's an incredible experience, and I've loved every single concert that I've been to.
Right. So you've also shared the stage with some big names as well. So when you do your set and you get the chance to be up on and the people you're watching are on the same stage that you were just on, and maybe you're watching from the wings and stuff, do you see things that you go, I really like that. I really like the way that was done.
I'm going to use that.
I'm going to use that.
All the time. I've never really like noticed those things until I really got into performing myself. And like, you know, when you're on stage, you get to reenact all those things. And then when you do watch other people, you do notice them a lot more. And there's definitely times where I think, wow, what that person did was awesome. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still a lot my own person. So I try and do my own thing, but I definitely do take some things from other artists for sure. And I think that's how a lot of us grow as musicians. And
for sure. And it's a real art between, you know, when bands are on tour and they're playing at a different city every night, and it's the same show, and it's kind of
to make it fresh,
and to do it without being stagey, you know, without being like, oh, that was planned out.
Yeah.
You know, it looks when it comes like from the heart, and it's really like, you know, there's probably been some kind of discussion about maybe you should be over there.
Oh, of
so
course.
When I kick, I don't hit you.
Well, we know that's happened. We've seen it even backstage at shows.
Right?
But
so just to be able to, there's got to be some sort of, I'm just gonna talk for a bit.
for sure.
We had this one drummer for a while, right? And it was like, you know, we'd rehearse and we'd go, and then he'd play every night. He'd play the song different. And he's like, and then one night, you know, he's like, Johnny, you're missing the cues. And I'm like, well, buddy, but every night you're playing something different. It's never the same. It's never the same with you. What's going, you know, don't tell me.
And you got to know.
And then I lectured him.
Yeah. Not a good thing to do to a drummer.
Because like, you know, if like, say, for instance, Kiss is going out and doing their big show, and there's a flash pot that goes off every night, you know, and they rely on visual cues and audio, you know, audio clues from the players in the band. If the drummer does something, then it's like, that's the cue for the lights. If he's doing something different, the whole show is kaput.
I know, it's true.
Crazy.
And you must see that as you watch performers, like, you know, that they've got it worked out so that they feel so comfortable up there. Obviously, there's certain things that happen that are spontaneous, and that are hopefully things that are magic and spontaneous in a positive way, not like, you know, something not positive. But, you know, for sure, like your band and your musicians have to be doing things pretty consistently from night to night in order for you to be able to go, I know when he's hitting that snare a certain way or putting an emphasis on something, because then you can put an emphasis there by using, you know, either or whatever, right? So it is important to have that. And I'm curious to know, because you're a musician as well as a singer, right? Like, you play guitar. When did you start playing guitar? How old were you when you started?
I started playing guitar around the age of 9. And then piano, I started a little bit later on when I was 13. And I've gotten with guitar, I started out just doing like just teenage guys that, you know, wanted to make some cash. So they would teach me the stuff that they learned off the internet. And so I know like tidbits of what all these guys know kind of, and I just kind of put them together and build on that. I feel like I should have had a more professional guitar teacher, but I make do with what I can do right now.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Training is is one thing, but being an individual, right? Having your own style, like maybe you've developed some of your own styles as a guitar player from just adapting rather than from being like,
Play it this
one,
way,
two,
or
three,
yeah,
four, one, like when
For
you're in the
sure.
conservatory, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
just got to practice and build on what you know. I'm not saying you need to practice, but that's just,
Well, you
Yeah, it's
do.
just
yeah.
you do need to practice, but I like learning other people. Like I love it too. I've had friends who are amazing guitar players sit down with me and just say, like, I'm like, okay, how do you play Little Bird by Hendrix? I love this one, section so much. And I've had guitar players, thankfully, that have said this is how you do it. And then it's like, you learn these riffs and stuff that you're able to use in songs that you write. So I don't know. I love that way of learning. I think it's a great way of learning.
I think I do enjoy that too. And I'm not one of those people like when I learned piano, I could not read music at all. And I still can't read music. It's something that just doesn't come natural to me. And I was in piano for 3 years, I'd like to say. And through all those classes, it was me trying to learn how to read music, but I just don't learn that way. So for me, I had to sit down and listen to these songs and kind of just play around and try and figure out how to play them myself. And I feel like I do that more so with piano than I do with guitar, but I can definitely relate in that sense.
No, I
Right.
think that's cool. That's
Well,
hands-on. It's just doing
yeah,
it.
like the difference between us is that Leslie's a conservatory trained pianist and felt that there were just too many rules and stuff in that conservatory
Yeah,
agenda.
it drove me crazy.
So she picked up the guitar and self-taught herself on guitar.
Well, I had a few lessons. I did
Few
have a few
lessons?
lessons. Yeah.
Whereas I'm the guy that was like you, going back, putting the record back to the beginning of the song, or trying to find the spot in the middle of the track where I could listen
I'm trying to
and then
listen
try and
and
play
learn
it.
it.
So
Yeah.
there's no way, as long as you're making music, right? So there's no right
Yeah.
or wrong way.
That's all that really matters. And growing up, I'd always wanted to be like a music teacher, or because I've always wanted to be a teacher. Like that was one of my dreams growing up. So I wanted to be a music teacher, and I thought, how can I even do that if I don't know how to read music? But there are so many ways that you can learn it, and I feel like that's just the one stereotypical, like mainstream way that everyone wants to go. And I think there's a lot of other ways, especially with musicians. People, they're creative. They want to learn different things in different ways, and there's not always that one set thing. And I thought, I don't think I could be a music teacher in that regards, to teach just one route. I think there's so many different ways to learn things.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, going back to performance, and also want to ask a question about the songwriting side of it too, but going back to performance, what do you prefer? Do you like to, because I'm a guitar player, also a singer, but sometimes it's nice to put down the guitar, but I'm so used to having the guitar, right? It's just like this security blanket almost for me. So what do you prefer? Do you like to just be out there singing and have your microphone, or do you like to have your guitar with you, or what's your favorite way to perform?
I love playing with a band, and growing up, I didn't really know many other musicians. So when I first started playing gigs, it was just me, and I loved it. But when I get on stage and I'm with a band, that is where I feel 100% myself. And that's where all my confidence comes from. Like, that's where I feel the most me, when I can just jam around, dance on stage. I say, like, my number one song to play and cover with a band is Sweet Child of Mine. It's so crazy, but I lose myself in it, and I go across the stage and do like the guitar solos, like fake do it on my air guitar. And it's such a great feeling. I love it. And I really miss that. I haven't gotten to play with a band live in a while, so I'm really missing that for sure.
Yeah, we just saw you played at Hank's Tavern in Bradwell.
Yes,
that was a solo acoustic.
It was solo acoustic. It was lots of fun though. And I think that those kind of shows, the shows where I'm playing with my guitar at a bar and stuff, where it's like a social, super chill setting. If I were to play with my guitar and just me, that's how I'd like to do it. I love to tell stories and just kind of interact with the crowd. I don't like having a set, like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this kind of thing. I love interacting with people and talking with people, like just getting on here and talking about music. Like, this is the highlight of my week, because I've been doing finals and studying for finals all week. So to get that chance to be in my musical zone and just just enjoy it is really what I love to do and what I live for.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Finals, what are you doing in school?
I was going in for teaching, but I switched to psychology. I'm really interested in psychology, so maybe one day I'll be a music therapist or something on the side along with being a musician. But I feel like I need to have a backup plan just in case. And kind of, it's good. I like having different things to focus on and different passions, and psychology is one of those for me.
Where
That's awesome.
are you doing your schooling?
Lakeland College here in Lloydminster for now,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
transferring maybe. We'll
Right.
see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are you in Lloydminster or are you in Saskatoon? But you're in Lloydminster. Yeah.
Yeah, Lloyd right now, but hopefully, I don't know how like school is gonna go with the next semester and vaccinations. If I don't know, I have no clue. So we'll see next year if I'm online or.
Yeah, no
No.
kidding. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
So with your schooling and being, a singer, a songwriter, and performer, that probably has to take a lot of planning as to when and how you can do stuff that doesn't interfere with, that education.
A little
Yeah.
bit. I've been doing performing. I guess this past year it hasn't been as bad. I've been in COVID for most of my college career, but for me, like throughout high school and stuff, I'd do schoolwork during the week, and all my friends would be going out to parties and having fun, and I'd be having fun on the stage at a show and meeting 60-year-old musicians and like just talking to them about like and that's where I honestly feel the most at home, and I've always loved it. And so I don't think that it's really, I guess scheduling can get out of hand a little bit. Like I'm quite busy a lot of the time, but there are two things that I'm really passionate about and that I love, so I just make it work. Just like how I make time with my friends even in the midst of all of this, it's something that I love and I need to be a part of, so I make time for it.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, yeah, it's all about balance, right? For sure.
So
And I'm not saying that I'm good at that either. I'm not.
None of us are. Balance is hard.
You can't manage time.
No, you can't manage time.
No,
It's
you
true.
Time has its own thing going on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So when you do play with the band, do you have a band from Lloyd, or what is your band situation? I saw a YouTube video on your on your website, and that I think you were just doing one song with them that night, or was that your band?
Yeah, that was that night we just had done one song, or if I think is what I'm thinking of. If it's what I'm thinking of, there are usually a few guys that I usually circulate towards in Alberta. Group that I work with. I haven't had to do many band shows or work too much in Saskatchewan as compared to Alberta, because I'm kind of 50-50 being on the border. But I work a lot with Cody Mack and Josh Rizicki out of Edmonton, and a few other guys. I mean, I worked with a lot of different freelance musicians as well, but I'm working on building up my own band, and hopefully that'll come as, more shows start popping up and I have to have full band rehearsals.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, so we listened to your record or EP or on Spotify. It was really enjoyable. So tell us
Yeah,
a
it
bit
sounds
about how
great.
that all came together, because
Cool.
you had the opportunity to work with some Nashville songwriters as well as Bart McKay and stuff like that. So
Yeah, this for sure. What was that? Sorry, it just cut out.
Well, I was just asking about
How did that happen with Bart and
Bart and the Nashville songwriters. How did you go shopping for songs, or were they presented to you, or how did that happen?
Yeah, we did a lot of song shopping. We got a lot of pitches. Bart gets them in all the time. I mean, it's Bart McKay. He's not very known around here. I don't know about you, but but yeah, he got quite a few pitches, and we just kind of listened through them all. I had a chance to go on the Olé bus when Olé was a thing. I think they're Anthem now. But I went on the Olé bus in Hamilton a couple years ago at the CCMAs and was able to work with their publishers, and they kind of came up with a couple songs for me. And out of that, we got Boomerang, which was written by one of my idols. I absolutely love her, Kelsey Ballerini. She wrote that song. so getting to record that song was pretty spectacular, not only in the fact that she wrote it, but I definitely related to it in a lot of ways. And I think that I never really pictured myself getting song pitches. I always just figured I'm going to be like Taylor Swift. I'm going to write all of my songs. But I don't think that there's any shame in saying that you got pitched songs. I mean, I've made them my own, and I definitely can relate to them all. Good On Me was another one of those examples where we got this song, and I honestly, yeah, there we go. We got this song, and the first time I heard it, I was like, I don't know. And then my manager, Angie Moore, she's like, no, you listen to the lyrics, they're you. And so I listened to them, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. It's about, being in a relationship and going up like through high school. I never really had boyfriends or anything because I was so picky about who I wanted. And like, I knew what I wanted in a relationship. And I was like, I had a career where I was around adults all the time. So I just kind of had this idea of these mature guys, really respectful, not these teenagers that go on Snapchat and slide into your DMs. That's just not what I strive towards. And so this song was kind of me throughout my dating in high school. Just you start talking to someone and you really like them, and then you're like, oh, they act like they're 12, or that's just like you're just not good on me. Like we're not meshing well. And so that's where that song just really connected in that sense. And I also wrote That Kind of Love, and we recorded that one. And it was a super amazing recording process with that, because I'd never really gone from the beginning and saw the whole process of what my song was and to what it had become. We had actually worked with Darren Savard out of BC. He's a guitarist, won lots of CCMAs and stuff. Really great guy. We worked with him first before we got to Bart. I recorded that song about a year before with him. And then we took that to Bart, and he kind of made it his own, and it came to what it is today. And it was a great process, and I'm so excited to get back in it again for this next album. I'm so excited.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's no shame in being pitched songs and doing other songs. I mean, because like you're, saying you want to be like Taylor Swift. If you keep writing, one day there'll be another artist that you can go, I got a Jordyn Pollard song, and I'm so excited that I get to do a Jordyn Pollard song, right? So
That's
think of
right.
it that way. I'd be super thrilled.
Well, and a lot of artists do cover music even all the time.
Right.
Like there's really, and they put their own spin on a cover song, so
It's just part of the game, part of the show, right? So
well, it's just fun. It's just music. So
it's music.
Yeah,
exactly. And I feel like everyone just kind of compares themselves to everyone. You know how that is, just especially in this industry, you always compare yourself to other people in the field, but you just gotta focus in and just realize that you're kind of on your own path to success, and you're doing what you're doing, and that's the best that you can do. You're going towards something totally different than someone else. So keep
exactly. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, it's your journey, right? And you got to do what's best for you, really. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Sounds like she's got a good head on her shoulders.
Yes, it does, which is awesome. But how did the whole process with so with Bart, when you go in with a producer, and we've had this too, like you are hoping that you're on the same page. Sometimes you are, and sometimes you're not. Sometimes they have a different vision for you. But I will say it's a tough one to know what to do, because sometimes they see something in you that you don't see yourself. Right. So, so sometimes there's a fight in it, but a lot of times, really good artists and great producers end up putting out something that's amazing. I mean, a good example too is, Todd Rundgren doing XTC. Like they hated each other
in the studio, and apparently it was one of XTC's, most recognized albums, and it was this one producer who pushed them to do stuff and pushed them to do this song, and they were like very adamant about not doing it, but he was hired by the label to make a hit record for XTC, and he had to
tried to push them out of their comfort zone, and it was not pleasant.
And I think Andy Partridge, the singer from the band, said it was a difficult delivery but a beautiful baby.
There you go. A
So
difficult delivery, but a beautiful baby. I love that. So
Yes.
how was that? How was that for you with Bart? Because this is a new experience for you, right? You're going in with a producer. You have a certain idea of what you want to do, what you want to sound like. How did that go?
I think for this first album, now I feel like as you said, I have more of a head on my shoulders, and I think I know more who I am and what I can be now that this first album is out. But definitely when we were first starting and I was getting all these song pitches, I was liking completely opposite songs. Like at the beginning, I didn't even really like Boomerang that much. Even though it was a Kelsey song, I was excited that it was a Kelsey song. It didn't feel like it was a Jordyn Pollard song, but my manager and Bart, they were like, no, it's a hit song. Like, we're going to make it yours. There's a way that we can make it sound completely different. And I totally underestimated that process. Like, I was like, okay, like, yeah, okay. We're totally going to make this sound like my song. And I didn't really think that it would until we got to that final project. And I was thinking, wow, this is me. And you were right. I'm going to admit it. But I think working with Bart is a dream. Like, he's such a nice guy and is always willing to listen to what I say. Like, sometimes I get in a room and I'm only 19. So a lot of people, they just underestimate me and just think that I don't have any good ideas. Like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Where people like Bart, and Bart especially, he's just very good at, just understanding where I am and and helping me, as well as like accepting me as a musician and as someone who's doing this as a career as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty
And
cool.
yeah, that's important too, because
he's an awesome guy. He is. And
yeah,
he has a sort of sixth sense
he does have a sixth sense.
about what's good for the artist. So,
Yeah. We had our album was mixed by Bart, our Tucker Lane album, and yeah, what he did was just like, wow, amazing. So we love him. We think he's fantastic. So
yeah. So we're just gonna do this little thing here where we talk about our sponsor.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a little sponsor break.
But
really
when
quick.
we come back, I saw that you were in the studio again, right? You just had a studio day recently.
Yes.
So we'll find out about that as soon as we hear about
our sponsor. Okay. So our sponsor is, wait a second here. I do need my glasses for this. I'm sorry to say, I really do. And whatever. Okay. The Green Room, YXE, has our sponsor, Field Fox Gardens and Cookery. Field Fox Gardens and Cookery is a food preparation and delivery service in Saskatoon. They are 100% gluten-free and organic and only use quality ingredients found close to home. Field Fox has just launched the pre-selling of lasagna in your choice of 2 sizes. They are proud to partner with Farm 140 to provide grass-fed beef in this carefully prepared classic meal that is delivered frozen for your convenience. In the coming days and weeks, the menu will grow to include fresh salads, condiments, spice blends, and more frozen prepared meals to suit every lifestyle. Their products are soon to be featured at Saskmade Marketplace, which only sells the best local goods. So please visit fieldfox.ca to order your lasagna and sign up for the newsletter to be notified as soon as the menu expands. And why not order your organic lasagna and treat yourself and not have to cook for a night and have some good food, right? And support local.
Yeah, and get on the mailing list, the newsletter, because
to hear what's coming up.
Small local businesses rely on that, so that's a good thing. I saw that she has gluten-free bread or something coming out soon.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
So fieldfox.ca.
Field Fox Cookery. Yeah. All right, so back to the show.
Getting back to it, yes. You wanted to ask?
Yeah, about so in the studio and you were in the vocal booth and you were, jamming.
You saw TikTok video?
Yeah, I think was it TikTok or Instagram?
It was TikTok through Instagram.
Through
I think.
Instagram, yeah. So what are you doing? 1 song, 5 songs, a record, or what?
We're doing a few songs. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but whatever. I'm just saying it anyway.
Ooh, exclusive.
Get that up there, Ian. It's an exclusive.
We're working on a new release, and it's been long awaited. I think all throughout COVID, I've just kind of been sitting around waiting for something to happen, waiting for me to be able to go out and do music again. And though I can't perform live, getting in the studio is obviously another great thing to do, and it's been taking up a lot of my time and a lot of my thoughts, thinking about what this next album, what the imagery will look like, what the sound will be. So kind of getting in vocal lessons to get ready for that, doing lots of vocal warm-ups and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm super excited to show everyone what we're coming out with. And actually, if you guys keep an eye out and watch the Saskatchewan Country Music Awards, you might get to hear a new song, maybe.
Wow, that's awesome. Maybe, hey.
I think that sounds like a yes.
It does. That's awesome. How
Awesome.
exciting.
Cool. Is that just a solo acoustic performance?
It's actually a band performance. We thought we'd go all out for this one. And it's so weird to me because everyone, like last year, everyone was congratulating me on getting my award. And they're like, I'm so sorry you didn't get the award show experience. And I never really thought about that. I've never really truly had a real award show experience. Like I've been to the SCMA show, but not where I've ever been nominated or performing. So it's going to be weird for me to actually have an in-person award show.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
Hopefully next year,
Yeah.
I hope
after your new songs come out in 2021, you'll be back at it again.
I
Okay, so
hope so.
three nominations this year. So you've emerged.
That's right. Yes, I think there are 3 nominations. Wow. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
it is really crazy. I still can't believe it. And whenever people say it, I don't believe it. And the fact that I'm in some awards, like some categories with Jess Moss, Gluck, and Tennille Arts, I can't even like comprehend that. It's amazing. I look up to them all so much, so it's crazy to be in that category with along with those artists.
Something
Awesome.
about Saskatchewan and the women artists, eh?
Yeah,
said that.
no
You noticed
kidding.
that
Yeah,
there's a
just
lot
a lot of talented women in Saskatchewan for sure. Absolutely. So are you going to be doing some songwriting as well for these songs coming up? Are you doing that as well?
Yes, there's going to be a song or two that I have written myself and that I'm super excited to release, and it has a really special place in my heart, so I'm super excited to release it. And the first time I ever performed it, everyone in the room cried. My parents cried. So I'm excited to release it, but also like scared at the same time because it's so personal to me and means a lot to me. And it was my baby at one point, so now everyone's gonna get to listen to it. So I'm excited though. I'm excited. It'll be good.
So songwriting question. Do you prefer to write your songs on guitar or on piano? Because you said you now play piano as well. What inspires you? Just sitting down tinkering with the guitar, or do you write the lyrics, or do you write the music? What's your songwriting process?
A lot of my ideas, like I come up with a lot of individual lyrics and then I'll sit on it for a long time. Like I won't even go back to it. And it'll usually just be that one lyric that inspires a whole song, or I just branch out from that and just write from that. A lot of the time I do write on my guitar, but also I like writing without any instruments because then I can, like, especially because I'm not the most skilled at instrumentation, it helps for me to just sing a random song and try and come up with the melody without even playing it, because I don't even know if I can play some of the chords that I'm writing a melody to, So I do like just sitting there, and even though it'll sound like crap or it won't sound the greatest, like I'll just hum along to it, and until I come up with a good idea, then I'll press record and go with that. But yeah, it's different every time, really.
Yeah. And do you do did you mention, do you do collaborations? Have you been doing any collaborations with anybody?
I do collaboration writing, and I've been doing a lot with Doug Sylvester, who I'm sure you guys know. He's such a great guy, and some of his songs are totally bizarre and just hilarious, and he can write from every single aspect, and I love that about him. And we just have a great time writing every time. We spend so much time talking, and usually it's our conversations that bring up an idea about what we're going to write next. So it's really cool to write with him, and I've been writing with a few other people. I have a couple co-writes lined up after my finals are all done, so I'm excited for those.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Hey, oh, songwriting is just the best. It really
It
is.
really is.
Yeah, I
We'll
agree. I agree.
songwriting sometime.
Yeah,
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 for sure.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So you played Hank's Tavern on early April. Are you got any other gigs like that coming up? Any other acoustic shows that are nearby, or?
Not anything scheduled, but if anyone's watching and you want to hire me, I'm totally up for it.
Awesome.
I
awesome.
because of finals and just the uncertainty of COVID, I don't really have anything for, like, I'll probably do some live streams coming up once everything settles down, but yeah, getting up on stage is what I love to do most, and I'm sure that's the same with everyone when it comes to musicians. But the live stream thing is very foreign to me, and this is normal. Like, this is cool because I'm talking to people. But if I'm live streaming and it's just I'm looking at me, I just get caught off guard all the time. I'm like, why are you taking selfies of yourself? Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I know it's not easy.
That's why
right?
we don't have any mirrors in the house.
So,
How do I look? Oh, there I am.
yeah. It's so weird because you really can't have that interaction that you usually do have, and so you're waiting for that applause and that, encouragement, and you're like, am I doing good? I don't know, like, am I doing the right thing? Are people even watching? So there's a lot to be certain about, but I do like doing it. It's not my comfort zone.
Yeah. Girl, you got to do more gigs, because there's lots of gigs where there's nobody clapping.
Yes, we've done many of those.
They build character.
I'm gonna say a really sarcastic joke, but sometimes my sarcasm is taken too literally, so I won't say it. But I was gonna say, not at the shows that I'm playing at.
Exactly.
Sometimes people just don't take they take my jokes way too seriously.
That's
so.
good.
Yeah,
That's good though. That's a
No.
good place to be coming from.
That's right. That's
because,
right.
You are what you think.
You are what you think. Yeah. So your bio says that you are an adventurous spirit and you just want to try things. So, like, I'm just wondering, what artists now are you listening to, and what do you see yourself maybe becoming, or what, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's inspiring you that could be like, oh, I want to try something different or do this or do that. What are you thinking for your future?
For me, I've been really, I don't know how to even explain this, but I started watching, like, I watched my friend Courtney a couple weeks ago, Bohemian Rhapsody. And after seeing, like, I know that's not Freddie Mercury, but just after seeing his energy, and then I watched a whole bunch of Queen videos after, and just seeing the energy that he has on stage and just how he's so unapologetically himself, I think that's what I'm striving to be. I feel, even as, like, not even just me, but as a young girl, I'm like, with social media and everything, we compare ourselves to everyone else. We are so unsure about what we're posting. Everyone's with their friends. Why am I not with my friends? Like, or these people have so many shows. Why can't I get so many shows? I think that in regards to that, I just really want to live in my own way and not really look to other people to see if I'm doing things right, or, just kind of pave my own path. And I think that just watching Freddie Mercury do what he does, and their Queen themselves are just so different, and they push different boundaries. And I mean, you can say the same thing about Taylor Swift. She's jumped genres and she's trying new things. She recorded her last album. Again, just things like that. I would love to be able to make a mark on the music industry in that way by just being unapologetically myself and have people accept that. That'd be the goal, I think.
Yeah, I get that. Like, yes, there's something about Freddie Mercury where he is just in the moment. He's just kicking butt, and he just doesn't care. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. And I know what you mean. There's something about, especially, and maybe men have this too, but there's something very self-conscious about us women. You're right. Like we are very like, okay, everybody's got to look a certain way. You got, we're unsure, like you said, a little insecure, unsure. And when I get the same vibe as you do, when I watch Freddie Mercury, I'm just like, oh my God, he just giver, he just gives it, and he gives all of himself. And he's just, you're right. He's unapologetic. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. And he's just strutting around and having a great time. And that everybody's picking up on that. And that's why he's such a incredible, legendary performer, because everybody looks at that, I think, and lives through that vicariously almost, because he's just like, oh my gosh, just to be able to do that. Really?
And
I get that.
Exactly. And I just love people to look at me while I'm performing and be like, wow, that is what she's meant to do. And she's just so unapologetically herself, and I think that that'd be amazing to like leave a legacy behind like that. He just did it all right, I think. And I mean, I think I'm far from being Freddie Mercury, but in a sense, I'd love to just be able to post on social media and go on stage and just live in such an unapologetic way where I don't care what other people think. And I think social media plays a huge role in caring about what people think. And I don't know how to make that less of a priority, but I'm working on it. And once I do get to that point, I hope that I live in such a way that I can be so confident and that people will see me and be like, wow, I want to perform like that. I just want to not give a care. And
Well,
and just from the heart. Yeah.
Freddie had it all though, like, because how many times have we seen like a great singer who live is completely boring? And the guys that are like just unashamed, and this is what I do and this is what I am, and they just go out and they put on a great show, and you're just like, wow, that was awesome. I would pay to see that again and again and again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
for sure.
it's true.
Anyways, we had a comment here in case you didn't see that.
Okay.
Our friend Darren Minnesota is reopening the Roxy here in Saskatoon, and in August. See, so you said you want to get hired. He's willing to hire you for the
Look
August
at that,
show.
Jordyn.
thank you.
Yeah.
I said that as a joke. I'm so glad that you took that up, though.
Yeah. Well, we'll be sure and send you his information. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
there you go.
Thank
Ask
you.
and you shall
Ask
receive.
and you shall
receive. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit here about Taylor Swift, because I'm not a huge fan of her music. I like a lot of her stuff. Some of her songs are actually really good, and I can actually listen to some of her later albums were actually, a little more pop, and they were kind of.
Let's just say she's a really good songwriter.
She's an awesome songwriter,
right? Obviously.
So she had some trouble here with her label. Big Machine was sold to a guy named Scooter Braun, right, who also manages Kanye West, and we all know the history there. So she's going to re-record all of her Big Machine albums and re-release them. And now as a young artist who's just entering into the business, and obviously you have management and you have people working, on the Jordyn Pollard team. So does this make you a little apprehensive about going, geez, I got to really cover all bases moving forward, because I don't want to be in the situation where, things could go sideways and I'm going to be, having to re-record all 3 of my albums out of spite.
Well, you know what? Taylor Swift is just a really good, she's a good artist to be inspired by, because she's a smart business person. And she always has been a smart business person.
I love that, because she's directing her fans to listen to the new versions. And if it comes to any licensing or any sort of placement, she gets first right of refusal on her old stuff. So she's essentially putting those records out of business and reassuming control. Right. So, do you feel that is like something like, I better pay attention to this? Is this something that you feel is an empowering position to be in, or is it?
I think watching her do that, I think it's important, because she did take control of her own career and she's like showing that it's her music. For me, I saw Kelly Clarkson do an interview about the same thing, because she was one of the first people, or I think she was the person who told Taylor, why don't you go and re-record? I think she tweeted her that or something, said, why don't you just re-record your old albums? And even Kelly talked about this in one of her interviews. She said to Taylor Swift, like, she wrote those songs. She was in the studio 24/7, like doing all of the track work. Like, she wrote those songs. They are her diary. And for me, I'm not releasing all these songs that I wrote. Like, they are pitched songs. And so, yes, they mean a lot to me, but I mean, for her, that's her life since she was 12, 11, 13 years old. So I could definitely see why she'd want to do that, and especially being such a big artist of her stature. I don't think if she would have left it, I just think that wouldn't have been her character, you know, because she's always been so protective of her music and what it's about. And, you know, everyone talks about it's about her ex-boyfriends. Well, she hasn't even said that. So, you know, like, it's just, I think it's important for her because that's what it's her life essentially. And I'm really happy that she did that. And it's just kind of showing people that you can't have control if you're at the wit's end. You know, there are things that you can do about it. And as you said, she's an amazing businesswoman and great role model, I believe, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah.
Just as a side note, did you see The Rock when he did that impersonate? He did the lip sync to one of her songs.
Oh, was that on Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, on Fallon.
Yeah.
I think I saw that.
That was funny. That was good.
That's hilarious. If you get a chance, anybody that's out there, what song was it? Do you know?
I can't remember.
It might Shake It Off. I feel like I've heard of it.
Shake It Off. Yeah, that's
I would Shake It Off. Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
No, her songs are awesome.
Yeah.
And Ryan Adams did a whole cover of 1989, right? Her whole album. So I mean, she's a good songwriter.
Yeah.
No doubt,
for sure.
no
Absolutely.
doubt about it.
Yeah. So
we
kept you a long time. We said like half an hour, 40 minutes, and we've been going. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but I love chatting, and this, honestly, talking about music, like, this is awesome. And so every interview that I get, I just soak it all in. So it's been a pleasure talking to you guys.
Oh, it's been so awesome. And best of luck at the SCMAs this Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody tune in to that show. Jordyn's going to be playing a song on there. So cool. That's awesome. Cool. We're excited about that.
I think we saw Amanda's playing a song. And
Amanda's, yeah.
I watched Amanda's interview too. I was watching her today.
Yeah.
It's kind of getting you guys' podcast.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
You know, you gotta do what you can, right? And this whole year has been kind of weird. So
yeah, it's been a very strange year.
We enjoy talking to people. We enjoyed talking to you tonight. And 19 years old, you got a bright future ahead of you. So
thank you so much.
Maybe when you get your psychologist's license, I can be one of your first patients.
all the musicians, we all need it right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I like how you said working music and psychology together, therapy together. Definitely, I'm sure there's something there. Music is healing, so. Yeah.
I think even just in the sense of like marketing and stuff, psychology just has to deal with everything. It's so fascinating, and I'm really happy that I'm taking those courses.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because you're going to need it when you get on the road and you have to deal with angry bandmates. Like,
that's right. No kidding.
Why is this water?
I can talk through it.
Yeah. Like, why does water that's room temperature set you off?
Exactly.
Right. All right. Well, we'll be watching the show. So
for sure.
Looking forward to your performance and hearing your new song, and looking super forward to hearing what you're doing with Bart right now. And, you know, we know Sam at Strut as well. So if you ever,
that's right. You work with Sam at Strut. Yeah. I forgot to tell Sam. Oh, you were going to be on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah.
So if you want to come back and have something to talk about, we'll be happy to have you come on here.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back.
I'd love to come back. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, best of luck this weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah,
I remember I met you at one of an SCMA event one time, just briefly for about 30 seconds. You, your mom, and your dad.
Oh, okay.
You were staying at the Ramada one night after a performance.
Oh yeah, at the
Yeah.
Long Branch.
Yeah.
I
So-
I must have been in a competition or something. Then they kicked me out because I was underage.
Oh,
Rules are made to be broken.
yeah.
No.
Anyway, thanks so much, Jordyn, for coming on.
Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, you
You
too.
too.
Take care,
Thank
Jordyn.
Wow.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. That was
so much
really
fun.
For 19, she sure has it on the ball. I was super impressed with her.
Yeah, she does.
She's pretty grounded,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's pretty cool.
So that's it for the show.
We're
Or
gonna do some shameless self-promotion.
oh, did it really? Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, shameless self-promotion. We have our new album out, Random Fireworks on a Beach, Obscured by Trees.
Mixed by Bart McKay.
Mixed by Bart McKay. Yeah,
Right.
so check that out. And we have a live streaming show coming up on April 24th, which we're really excited about. So definitely get tickets. They're at veeps.com. That's VEEPS.com. Veeps.com. And it's only $10, and it's just going to be a great show. So I hope you guys can check that out.
As well as our previous band, Universal Honey, has just re-released our 4th record to digital platforms and streaming. So that is up there as well, as well as our first 3 and our Christmas record under Universal Honey. So
yeah,
if you care to delve a little deeper,
yeah, if you want to listen to some music, and you'll love it. So what's going on around town? Well,
the snow's melting.
Yeah,
the sun was shining.
The sun is shining. It's
no real gigs to talk about.
Not really any gigs to talk about yet, but it's coming soon. It's coming soon. I feel it. Vaccinations are rolling out and rolling along, so
we get ours soon.
Yeah, we do. We get ours next week, I think. We want to thank Jordyn Pollard for coming on the show. That was awesome. We really appreciate her coming on to the Green Room YXE. And yeah, again, check her out on we should have asked her to actually promote her website and everything, but she's on Spotify.
JordynPollardMusic.com. I think it's Jordyn with a Y. So if you're looking for her online, it's Jordyn with a Y.
Yeah. And then the SCMAs, go to the SCMA Facebook page, and there's a link there that you can watch the show and see Jordyn singing on there. And we want to thank the sponsor, Field Fox Gardens and Cookery. Order that lasagna at fieldfox.ca. It's awesome. And please subscribe and follow No YXE on YouTube and on Facebook. And also, I'm going to promote a couple of other No YXE shows, because No YXE is an awesome channel, and they're getting more and more shows on here. So check out YXE Sports Podcast Mondays at 6 p.m. And Let's Chat is Tuesdays at 11 a.m. And Sportsline is Thursday at noon. In Focus, YXE, it's a cool game show, Thursday at 7 p.m. And Slow TV YXE is a cool, chill kind of Sunday thing to do, Sunday at 10 a.m. So also, if you're an artist and you have something coming up that you want to get the word out there on and promote, then just email us at thegreenroomYXE@noYXE.com. So I hope you guys have a great week. And
last comments here. We saw Kathy's up there.
Oh,
Kathy
right.
Allen.
Hey, Kathy. Yeah.
Good interview. Thanks. Look forward to seeing where your career goes. All the best. That was for Jordyn, obviously, not us.
No. That was for Jordyn. Awesome. And David Tosher. We want to say hi to him. Thank you. You always come on and say hi to us. So thanks, David.
And Darren, Minnesota.
Darren.
I'm super stoked to go to that club.
I know. We're so excited for his new club. It's
and have him buy me drinks all night. No, okay.
Anyway, you guys, hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. So keep on rocking and rolling out there.
Yeah, we'll have a SCMA wrap-up kind of show.
That's right.
Shantea is our guest.
That's right. Yeah.
And after that, on to New Horizons.
All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Peace out.